In this lesson, we're going to learn the chords to the song called My Lovely Rose of Clare. Let's get going. Hey, it's Adon here, adoncoin.com, where I teach you how to play in DADGAD guitar. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about Irish backing, songs, and guitar techniques, do click the subscribe button now and the bell so you don't miss out on anything. So I'll play the first verse once through and then I'll bring up the chord charts and we'll go through everything nice and slow. Oh, my lovely Rose of Clare, you're the sweetest girl I know. You're the queen of all the roses and pretty flowers that grow. You are the sunshine of my life, so beautiful and fair, and I will always love you, my lovely Rose of Clare. Right, so there are only 3 chords in this song, so we'll go through them one by one, and I'll show you a couple of different versions for them. So this is a D major here. We have the first finger on the 2nd fret of that G string. We have the 3rd finger on the 4th fret, that middle D, and little finger is up on the 5th fret of that low A. So there's a couple of different ways of playing this. You can play it like this, which is a little tricky for some. You can lift off your 3rd finger to get a D modal, which will work fine. So that'll be your 1st and your 4th finger left on. And then if you want to make things really simple, you can just play with your 1st finger on that 2nd fret of the G for a D modal as well, and that'll work just as well. But if you want that full D major sound, get all your 3 fingers involved. So I'll give you 3 versions of the G as well. You have this 3-finger version where you have your 2nd finger on the 4th fret of this G string. Then you have your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the low D, and little finger is on the 5th fret of that low A. And you have the open middle D. So that gives a nice kind of open sound. So that's one version of the G. You can also lift off your 4th finger there, and you can play that with your 1st and 2nd finger, or your 2nd and 3rd. Or you can close things down and have this G here. So that's getting all your fingers involved. You have your 1st finger on the 4th fret, that G string, 2nd finger on the 5th fret now of that low A, low D. Your 3rd finger is on the 5th fret of low A, and your 4th finger is squeezed in there on the 5th fret of the middle D. So there are your 3 versions for your G. And then the last chord we're going to cover is the A major, and I'll give you 3 versions of that as well. So we have the A major here with the little finger up on that 4th fret, which is a bit of a stretch for some, but you have your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of that middle D, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and then your little finger is up here on the 4th fret of that high A. Second version of this is just lifting off that little finger, making things easier. Makes things a lot more open. And then you have the 3rd option. You can go up and play your A right up here. So it's the same as shapes as your G. You just slide it up another 2 frets. So now your 2nd finger is on the 6th fret of that G string, and you have your 3rd and 4th finger on the 7th fret of that low D and low A. So now that we've covered the chord shapes, let's go through line by line. So the tune is in 4/4 time, and there's a slight push on the 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to start the song off, it's oh my, 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, back to the D, 3, 4. So that sounds, oh my lovely Rose of Clare, you're the sweetest girl I know. Then we're into the 2nd line. If you're enjoying things so far, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to help out. So we have the A major next, and that's held for 2 bars. So you're the queen of all the roses and pretty flowers that grow. So the A for 2 bars, and then the D for 2 bars. So line 3 is the same as line 1, so that's you are the sunshine of my life, into the G, 3, 4 and back to the D. And then just to finish the verse off, we have back to the A major again. I will always love you, my lovely, and this is where things change. You can just slide that shape up to the A up here, my lovely Rose. And you can either finish on the D down here, or if you want to be fancy, you can go all the way up. That's just on the 11th and 12th fret to get a D. So we'll go through the whole 4 bars here. And I will always love you, my G, and then sliding up to the A. One more time. I will always love you, my lovely Rose of Clare. So you'd play that last chord at the end of the song. If you were continuing on to the next verse, you could play it down here. It would sound a bit more continuous. So we'll go through this full verse now, and then I will show you how to add in some extra picking or fingerstyle stuff. So let's give that a go. So we have, oh my lovely Rose of D, you're the sweetest girl, I back to the D. You're the queen, into the A major, the roses and pretty flowers that grow. Third line, you are the sunshine of my life, into the G, beautiful and fair. To finish off, I will always love you, my lovely, sliding up to Rose of Clare. So instead of strumming the whole song straight through, you could add some picking patterns into it, and one that sounds nice goes like this. And I'm demonstrating this on the D modal chord just to make things easy, but it works just as well on all the other shapes. So let's go through it. It might take a bit of time to get the alternating picking and jumping from string to string, but we'll go through it now. So we'll take this in sections, and the first section sounds like this. So we're having a downstroke on the low D, an upstroke on the middle D, and a downstroke on the G. So that sounds. So it's down, up, down, down, up, down. Next section, it's going to be an upstroke on the middle D and a downstroke on the high D. So that's upstroke on the middle D, downstroke on the high D. So when you add that in to the first section, it goes. We practice that. And then to finish off, we have an upstroke on the middle D, downstroke on the G, and an upstroke on the middle D again. And then when we add that in, it's from the top, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And we're back to the start. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So that might take a bit of practice to build up the speed, and then practice with the different chord shapes as well. So one other thing you could do is play that song fingerstyle with that picking pattern. So it'd be, oh my lovely Rose of Clare, you're the sweetest girl I know. So that'd be getting your right hand involved with that picking pattern. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any other song suggestions, I'm happy to help out. I'll try and get them done for you. Do check out the playlist of song tutorials I have here, and I will talk to you on the next one. All the best.